Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, our dear viewers in TOEFL Secrets channel. Welcome again in this video. We are going to solve some rhetorical questions today in this video. So this is the first question. Now stop the video and try to solve this question. Alright, what is the main purpose of the paragraph? We notice here that we don't have keywords in here. That's why we need to read the whole paragraph and determine its purpose. Now, let's read the answer choices. But before we choose our answer choice, we need to cancel out the wrong answer choice. Because if we want to choose the right answer, before canceling out the wrong answers, our possibility to answer this question right is going to be 25% out of 100%. So we need to cancel out at least 2 answer choices in order we get 50% to answer this correctly. Now, let's read the first answer choice. To explain why water can flow through rock. This is incorrect because this paragraph is not trying to give us a reason why the water can flow. So we cancel this answer choice. We go now to the next one, to emphasize the large amount of empty space in all rock. This also is incorrect because the author is not trying to emphasize the large amount of empty space. Now we have C and D. C, to point out that all rock cannot be both porous and permeable. This is incorrect because the author is not trying to point out something porous and permeable at the same time, simultaneously. So we're left with D, to distinguish between 2 related properties of rock. This is the answer because if we notice, the first sentence is telling us the proportion of empty space in a rock is known as its porosity. So the author is trying to give us an information about the definition of something, the porosity. It's the proportion of empty space, okay? And then he's trying to give us a more detail about it. But note that porosity is not the same as permeable, which measures the ease with which water can flow through a material. So the author is trying to help us not to get confused between these 2 terminologies, porosity and permeability. It feels like he's trying to tell us don't get confused between these 2 things. He wants us to distinguish. That's why D is the correct answer. Now we go to the next one. Try to solve this question. Okay. In this paragraph, what is the author's main purpose in the discussion of dramatic cessation of tree growth at the upper temporal line? Our keywords here is dramatic cessation, and also we have another keyword which is upper temporal line. Now we need to skim through the passage and find these keywords. They are located at the beginning of the paragraph. We read from the beginning. There is still no universally agreed on explanation for why there should be such a dramatic cessation of tree growth at the upper temporal line. Various environmental factors may play a role. Too much snow, for example, can smother trees. Avalanches and snow creep can damage or destroy them. Okay, now we read the answer choices and try to cancel out the wrong ones so we can get higher possibilities of answering this question correctly. A, to argue that none of several environment factors that are believed to contribute to that phenomenon do in fact play a role in causing it. This is incorrect. What is trying to tell us in this option is exactly the opposite of what is written in the paragraph. So this is incorrect. We now go to the next one. B. To argue in support of one particular explanation of that phenomenon against several competing explanations. This also is incorrect because the author is giving us many factors that may play a role of a dramatic cessation. So this is not a correct answer because also the author is not trying to support one factor against several factors. C. To explain why primary environmental factor responsible for that phenomenon has not yet been identified. Actually, this could be the answer, but it's not the correct answer. Why? Because the author mentioned and explained why the primary environmental factor responsible for that phenomenon, but he doesn't mention something regarding identification or being identified. So this one is also out. We're left with D. To present several environmental factors that may contribute to a satisfactory explanation of that phenomenon. Yes, exactly. This is exactly what the author was trying to tell us. Now, we have the third question. Stop the video and try to solve it. Okay, why does the author use the word luckily in mentioning that Ambulosaurus natans fossil included hind legs? Now, we have this word, it's already highlighted. So now, we start reading from the beginning in order to understand the reason. An even more exciting find was reported in 1994, also from Pakistan. The now extinct whale Ambulosaurus natans, the walking whale that swam, lived in the Tethys Sea 49 million years ago. It lived around 3 million years after Pakistan, but 9 million before Basilosaurus. The fossil luckily includes a good portion of the hind legs. Legs were strong and ended in a long feet, very much like those of modern pimped. And then the legs were certainly functional, so he keeps talking about legs. A. Fossil legs of early whales are rare find. This is incorrect answer because in the text the author wasn't talking about legs to be rarely found. B. The legs provided important information about the evolution of cetaceans. This could be the answer. C. The discovery allowed scientists to reconstruct a complete skeleton of a whale. This is incorrect answer because the author was not talking about reconstruction. Even if we keep reading, we would not find the reconstruction here in this paragraph. So C is out. We're left with B and D. Until that time, only the front legs of early whales had been discovered. This is also incorrect. He wasn't talking about the front legs of early whales that had been discovered. So B is the right answer. Now let's move to last question. Stop the video and try to solve it. Okay, the author tells the story of the explorers Lewis and Clark in the paragraph in order to illustrate which of the following points. Now, our keywords here are Lewis and Clark. Let's skim through the passage and find these keywords. We found them here, Lewis and Clark. So we should read from the beginning to understand the purpose. The numbers of deer have fluctuated markedly since the entry of Europeans into Puget Sound country. The early explorers and settlers told of abundant deer in the early 1800s, and yet almost in the same breath bemoaned the lack of this succulent game animal. Famous explorers of the North America frontier. Lewis and Clark, they are explorers, arrived at the mouth of Columbia River on November 14, 1805, in nearly starved circumstances. They had experienced a great difficulty finding game west of the Rockies, and not until the 2nd of December did they kill their first elk to keep 40 people alive that winter. They consumed approximately 150 elk and 20 deer, and when game moved out the lowlands in early spring, the expedition decided to return east rather than face possible starvation. Okay, so now let's just skip the wrong answers. A. The number of deer within the Puget Sound region has varied over time. Number of deer varied over time. This could be the answer, because the author was talking about the fluctuation of this deer. There was a fluctuation, so this could be the answer. B. Most of the explorers who came to the Puget Sound area were primarily interested in hunting game. Okay, before we evaluate this answer choice, we need to understand the meaning of game, because we came across this word many times in this paragraph. We need to understand the meaning of the game, because this word, it doesn't mean the game that you and me know that we play. No, it has another meaning. The game, it means the prey. In other words, the animal that you chase to eat. So it sounds like you're chasing something. That's why it's called game. So now, let's evaluate this answer. Most of the explorers who came to the Puget Sound area were primarily interested in hunting game. This is incorrect answer, actually. This answer is incorrect because in the text there wasn't mentioned the interest about the game. We haven't read something about the interest about hunting. That's why this is out. Now, C. There was more game for hunting in the east of the United States than in the west. This is also incorrect because the text wasn't stating there were more games to hunt in one area, let alone another area. This is crossed out. D. Individual explorers were not as successful at locating games as were the trading companies. This is, of course, incorrect. The text wasn't stating the trading companies, and they were not talking about, one party to be successful in hunting. So this one is also out. The answer here is A. That's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you get something out of this video. If you like this video and enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe, write a nice comment, share the video with your friends, and don't forget to like this video. See you guys in the next video.